Hello my dear students, I hope all of you are in good shape. Today we will be discussing a new chapter of grammar. As you can see, the name of the chapter is, the topic is active and passive voice. I don't know how much idea you already possess about this particular topic, but let me tell you one thing very clearly. Like any other grammatical chapter, this chapter also is really very important, and trust me, as long as you are going to learn English, at least in your school life, you are going to have this chapter in your syllabus directly or indirectly. And most importantly, whenever you will converse with each other, with anyone, or you are going to write something, the composition portion, you will find that this chapter is really necessary, okay, in making sentences and all these things. And as this chapter is really important as well as a vast chapter, though you are going to learn about the changing voice of the tenses, that only the tenses that had been taught to you, that had been mentioned in your book. The perfect continuous tenses, we didn't learn it while learning tense, because it has not been included in your book, in your syllabus, perfect continuous tense. So in case of voice change also, the perfect continuous tense, I noticed that it has not been included in this chapter also. Okay, so a little bit advantage you are getting. Okay, in this standard, at least you are not going to learn the voice change of perfect continuous tenses. But this video is going to be really long, but don't worry, you will get much time. It is not mandatory that you need to watch the whole video within one day or at one time continuously. You just take time, you learn properly, watch the video peacefully, and then jot down your queries, whatever you want. Practice the worksheets after watching the video, going through the chapter, and then do ask me in the next live class. Okay, as you know that there are quite a few holidays and we are missing classes. That's why I'm making these videos. And don't worry, the syllabus, the portion also is not huge, so always we can make up things. And one thing that I want to mention, that probably from today's worksheet onwards, you are going to get questions from all the chapters, so that the new chapters will be learned by you as well as the old chapters, not old one, the chapters that have already been discussed, those also will be revised. Okay, so this chapter, let's enough of talking, so let's start the discussion. So this chapter particularly I am going to teach, I am going to discuss through examples basically. And one thing, I am not very much important in this video. So when I will start writing something on the board, if you cannot see me, suppose I am not here in the camera, don't worry about that. Just follow the words and follow the board. Okay. So I would like to write two sentences at first. Before discussing anything, just I would like to write two sentences. This sentence I think I have already written quite a few times. I love chocolates. I love chocolates. You know the meaning, obviously. Now, I hope you can see the board. Okay. Sentence number 1. Sentence number 2. Sentence number 1 is I love chocolates, and sentence number 2 is chocolates are loved by me. Is the meaning intact or not? The meaning is same. You think properly, the meaning of the two sentences, that is same. The meaning is intact. But the format has been changed. What has happened? See, this I has been transformed into this. And this chocolates, this has been placed in the beginning of the second sentence. So okay, at first you think I how to find out subject, how to find out object. At first you learn that. That is really that is mandatory. Okay, to remember before this discussion. If you don't remember, just pause the video and go through that portion where that has been mentioned. I am not going to repeat that. Okay, so this one is the subject. In the first sentence, I is the subject and obviously chocolates, it is the object. And the verbs in a particular sentence, when the verb is having an object, at least a single object, what do we call this? What is that verb called by us? A transitive verb. And the verbs which do not possess any object in any sentence, those are intransitive verbs. Remember, in most of the cases, only the transitive verbs, when a verb is used as a transitive verb in a particular sentence, only then you can change the voice of that sentence. So the sentence, the verb possessed by the sentence must be transitive if you want to change the voice of the sentence. Okay, in most of the cases. Intransitive verbs, in case of intransitive verbs in any sentence, you cannot change the voice. Okay, at least in this standard. So I love chocolates. The verb love, it is obviously transitive because it has here we can find an object, that is chocolates. Now in the next sentence, second sentence, what has happened? The object, it has come forward. And this subject, it has been changed into something else and it has been placed at the end. And there are some new words, a new structure of the verb. This verb has also been changed. Okay, but the meaning has remained same. This transition, actually this is called the change of the voice. Have you got any idea? A little bit idea. I hope you have got a little bit idea. Now I am going to explain. Look at your book. Renu plays tennis. Tennis is played by Renu. The same kind of change, These two sentences mean the same. See, the meaning remains intact, but they are different in form. The format of the sentences, as you can see, some new words are there, some pronouns have been changed into something else. The format is changed. That is the main idea. And there is a slight difference in emphasis also. Yes, here in the first sentence, on which I lay the emphasis. I love chocolate. So on I am putting the emphasis. But in the second sentence, chocolates are loved by me. As if I am telling, chocolates are loved by me. The emphasis is on chocolates. That's why it has been brought in the beginning. In sentence 1 in your book, the verb is plays. Obviously, Renu plays tennis. Renu is the subject of the verb plays, as here I is the subject of the verb love. She also performs the action of playing. Here the pronoun I is performing the action of loving. Right? When the subject of a verb also performs the action named in the verb is said to be in active voice. So the subject, when the subject performs the verb, subject is the doer. Okay, who does the duty? Who does the action? We say that the sentence is in, the verb is said, the verb is said to be in active voice. But as you can find in the second sentence, where the subject of a verb receives the action named in the verb. Here chocolates are loved. Chocolate is not doing anything here. Chocolates are loved by someone else. Okay, by me. Try to understand the meaning. Here chocolates is not doing anything. They are not doing anything. Here chocolates are, someone loves chocolate. That has been written in some other way. I hope you can understand where the emphasis lies in sentence 1 and in sentence 2. So when the subject of a verb receives the action named in the verb is said to be in passive voice. My suggestion is, don't try to remember the active voice and passive voice. Don't try to recognize them through definition. obviously you learn the definition, you understand the meaning, but through practicing, above all through studying the format of the sentences, you try to find out whether the verb is in active voice or in passive voice. As I told, this video is going to be really long, so the first, this little portion is taking too long. I hope you have already understood. So don't get angry with me, don't get bored. You just take your time and watch the video maybe within 2 days or 3 days. Okay. So I hope the basic idea is clear. If there is any doubt, obviously I will clarify them in the live class. Now it is more natural to use active voice. Obviously, generally we speak in active voice generally, and it sounds elegant. It sounds normal. I would not say nothing is abnormal. It sounds more natural, I would say. Okay, naturally we speak in active voice, but there are some cases where we need to use passive voice to fulfill some purposes. What are the purposes? I am reading from this portion. If it is not known who performed the action. Okay. As example, you can see my pocket was picked. Suppose I was going somewhere and my pocket was picked. I don't know who picked my pocket, but I just know my pocket was picked. Okay. Someone picked my pocket, but I am telling that in some other format, through some other format, my pocket was picked. So this is the structure. If I say someone picked my pocket, this is the format through which we normally speak. My pocket was picked. We don't know by whom. So by someone we do not generally mention. It sounds awkward, by someone. So here when the doer, I would say, who does the action, he or she is not known, we use passive voice. Next, if the action is more important than who performed it, obviously when you need to know where the emphasis lies, as I have already told. All morning flights were cancelled. It doesn't matter who cancelled the flights. The thing that matters here is all the morning flights or all the trains have been cancelled. We don't care who cancelled it. We are worried because all the trains have been cancelled. So here as you see, the action is more important than the person who has done it. Okay, at that time we use passive voice. These are general rules to understand the thing, but I will always ask you to memorize, not memorize, to internalize grammatical rules by practicing. You cannot just memorize rules. Okay, number 1 this, number 2 this. If you just memorize things like this, it's impossible to apply that when it is high time. It's impossible. If you internalize the things, it will come out spontaneously through practicing. The practice is the main key of grammar, like mathematics. If the emphasis is on the person or thing that receives the action, as I have already told that, the emphasis will be put on the thing which is receiving the action in case of passive voice. Who is doing the action, that will not be more important than who is receiving the action in passive voice. Okay, so the doer will be less important in case of passive voice. Now changing sentences from active to passive, as I have shown you, it would be easier to show if this sentence could be written within one line. So this has been come here. I hope you can see the arrow, and this has been placed here in some other form. I has not remained I. It has been changed into me. That I will talk about later. So the active object has become the passive subject. In active object means in active voice it was the object, and in passive voice it has become the subject. In passive voice, that's why passive subject. Okay, the active sentences active object has become the passive subject in the passive voice sentence, and the active sentences active subject, it has changed its form and it has become the passive object in the passive voice sentence. Again, you just rewind the video and Listen to me carefully, you will get to know what I am trying to say. Otherwise, if I try to tell this continuously, I will get confused. Okay, I will say something wrong. The active subject has become the passive object, I have already explained. And we have used the preposition by before it. This preposition they are talking about. Generally we use by when we are mentioning the name of the doer. As I mentioned, by someone we don't mention. But here, as the person is very much particular, we are mentioning. There is no mistake in mentioning. Okay, there is no mistake in mentioning. Suppose I am saying Anuj loves chocolates. You cannot just omit. Chocolates are loved by Anuj. You have to mention. We are talking about a particular person. Here also I am talking about a particular person. So you have to mention. Okay, I am not talking about someone. So you have to mention. Okay. And generally we use by. There are some exceptional cases that we will gradually learn through practicing. Right now I am not going to mention. An appropriate form of the verb be is, be means is, here in your book has been used followed by the past participle form of the verb. Okay, this is very important, you can underline. See, I love chocolates. This love, I hope you remember everything about tense. I told you that tense, without tense, you cannot write a single sentence. So, love is in simple present tense. Here, when chocolates, the active object is becoming the passive subject, you will have to use a verb for that in second sentence. So, what will you use? You will use a helping verb at first. I hope you remember in simple present tense and in simple past tense, while doing interrogative, while doing negative, and here while changing the voice, we need to invite helping verbs, where in simple present tense and in simple past tense, in both these tenses, because there is no helping verb present in active voice. That's why we are inviting it. So what will we invite in simple present tense? Which helping verb? Am or is or are? You have to look at the subject. Here we are taking chocolates as subject, third person plural number. So which helping verb is going to be invited by us? Obviously are. And after that we will place the past part. This is not the past tense, okay. As the past tense and past participle tense of love, same, loved. So I am mentioning this is the past participle tense. In voice change, past participle tense is always needed. Remember this. Note it down. Always past participle tense will be needed. Always. Okay. So these are the changes. I am already tired. Anyway, see, it has been mentioned here also, underline. Only transitive verbs can be changed into passive voice. If there is no object, it will be an intransitive verb, and if there is no object, what will you bring in front of the, in the beginning of the second sentence in passive voice? What will be brought in the beginning if there is no object? Right now. So that is why the verbs must be transitive ones if you want to change the voice. In passive voice, we always use the past participle form of the verb. This is always needed. Now, personal pronouns in passive constructions. Okay, this is important, but this is nothing complex. As you can already see, if I would have written that Rita loves Shimika. If I would have written Rita loves Shimika, what would be the change of the voice? Shimika is loved by Rita. The names remains intact. But see, here I have changed something. It is a personal pronoun, and there are there are quite a few personal pronouns like I, he, it, they, me, them, we. Lots of. So if I say I love her, I love her. Okay, let me write it down, otherwise you will be confused. Why they have mentioned about personal pronouns particularly, you will get to know. Because when they are not using personal pronouns in sentences, the voice change is a little bit easier. I am writing both examples. Rita loves Shimika. Okay. What did I say? The active object, it will come in the beginning. It has come here in the passive voice. I hope you have already come to know that this is in active voice from the format or whatever it is. Because the doer, Rita is loving, and the doer has been placed in the beginning. Who is doer? It's not a good word, I guess. I mean, doer means who is doing the action. So that's why I'm using the short form doer. Okay, don't use it. So Rita loves Shimika. Here, who is doing the action? Rita. Rita has been placed in the beginning, and the person who is receiving the action, it has been mentioned in the end. So this is in active voice. But when we are using it, transforming it into a passive voice, it will come in the beginning. Shimika is loved. In simple present tense, we are going to invite a helping verb as there is not any helping verb already. Shimika. Now this is the subject. So for Shimika, which helping verb will we invite? Is third person singular number, not am, not are, is past participle form of love, loved by Rita. So Shimika remains intact. Rita also remains intact. The preposition by has been used as we have already learned. The helping verb, as it is in simple present tense, we need a helping verb to invite, and the past participle form of the verb. But if I write I like her, this is a personal pronoun. This one also is a personal pronoun. See, what will be the answer? Her is loved by I. Does it make any sense? It sounds really awkward. It sounds wrong. Just by hearing, you can say that miss, the answer that you are telling now is wrong. Right? So what will happen? This will be transformed into she. After she, which helping verb? Is. Liked by I. Does it sound right? No. Liked by me. So that is why the personal pronouns, the case of personal pronouns has been mentioned separately, because this is important. You just go through this point very minutely. Okay. In case of personal pronouns, they change their forms while changing the voice. Okay, next verbs followed by a preposition. Actually, they are talking about phrasal verbs, like I hope you know. Like carry on. We say na carry on your work. Means carry on means what? You just continue whatever you are doing. Okay. I carried on my work. My work was carried on by me. I cannot just omit the preposition on. Carry on, this is this is a total word. There are two words, but we cannot separate them. Carry on, this one is a phrasal verb, the whole one. Okay, in case of phrasal verbs, you cannot separate the word from the preposition. Only this has been mentioned here, nothing else. Now, interrogative sentences, right now I am not going to explain them. I will explain them while teaching the transformation of, voice change of every sentence. While teaching simple present tense, voice change of simple present tense, I will explain everything in details. Listen to me very carefully while I discuss those things while teaching simple present tense voice change. After that, the other tenses you will realize on your own. Okay, this point, if the subject is in active voice is not very important, we need not mention it when we express the sentence in passive voice. We need not mention it. We must not mention it. No. That is not the point. If we mention it, it sounds awkward. That's why we need not mention it. Like somebody. We are not talking about any particular person, any name or any I or any you or any she. That's why we don't need to mention. I have already mentioned it. Now we begin simple present tense. Okay, one more thing. If you go through the pages now, you will understand how huge the worksheets are. Okay, so it is impossible to provide the ready-made answers of all the questions. So be present in the live classes. I will discuss some answers there. I will clarify your doubts, and some answers I will try to provide in today's video or in the next video. If I provide in the video, it will be easier for you. Not all the answers will be provided. Remember, it is impossible to provide all the answers. Now simple present tense. I need to just erase these things. If some of you have already been tired and you are planning to watch the next part on some other day, you can do that. Just learn the basic idea from the part that I have already taught, and you can watch the remaining video on some other day also. Okay. Simple present tense. In simple present tense, what is the basic structure in active voice? I hope you remember. I really hope you remember the structures from the tense chapter. Okay. At first there is subject. This is subject. Okay, I am writing the short form. Plus am or is or are plus object. I am mentioning object because object is important in case of voice. So when we are making it passive, this is active voice. Okay. So watch the board at first, then I will continue. I hope the focus is on the board. In active voice, the structure is subject plus am or is or are plus object. I am talking about simple present tense. Remember, don't get confused. In passive voice, what happens? Just as the general rule, the object, it will come forward. They have written, right, the object, I am not writing that object plus something because here other things can be there. I don't know why they have not been mentioned. Like, wait a second, what has been mentioned in your book? Root form of the verb. Yes, right. They have mentioned it clearly. So I have mentioned there can be no, not am, is, are. I'm sorry. Just remove this portion if you have noted down. Subject plus root form of the verb. I got confused. Sorry. Root form of the verb. Why did I remove am, is, or are? Don't we use am, is, are in active voice, in simple present tense? Why did I make that mistake? Why am I calling that I wrote those things by mistake? Because can you change the voice? I am Madhuparna. Can you change the voice? Do you find any object? He is good. Do you find any object here? Remember, am, is, are. These are incomplete verbs. They do not take objects. They take complements. With complements, you will not be able to change the voice. So that was a mistake. Here you are going to find action verbs. Okay, like love, like, such kind of verbs. No am, is, or am, is, are. Okay, so what will happen? I am not writing here object plus ... because when this will be brought in the beginning of the sentence in case of passive voice, the object will be actually passive subject here. This will be transformed into the passive subject here. So it will be wrong if I write object in the beginning of the sentence in case of passive voice. Because in passive voice, it doesn't remain object anymore. When it is placed in the beginning, it will be passive subject. So check what has been written here. Active voice, root form of the verb. This portion is really important. Root form of the verb, sometimes s or es. Obviously, in case of third person singular number, you will find s or es. What changes will be there in case of passive voice? Is or am or are. You need to invite a helping verb. Again I am telling, plus past participle form of the verb. I have already given 2 examples. I love chocolates. Rita loves Shimika. I like her, I guess, I don't remember the example that I provided. Those were all in simple present tense. So I'm not writing it down again. I'm just telling you, like I teach English. English is taught by me. When you are making the active object, I mean you are transforming the active object into passive subject, and after that be careful which verb you are using. I teach English. English is taught by me. You will have to use the helping verb according to English, the word English. It is in third person singular number. You cannot use am, you cannot use are. Okay, and by me, I will be transformed into me. As I said, in case of personal pronouns, you need to be a little bit careful. Okay, now about interrogative sentences. I am explaining it here. Do listen to me very carefully because the rule is same in every tense. The format will remain same. The process will remain same in every tense. Okay, only the words will be changed. The verb forms will be changed. In present tense, present form, past tense, past form. These changes only. Okay, let's take an example from your book. Who makes these designs? Who makes these designs? You just think it in your mind, consider it, I mean transform it into a statement, a full stop sentence, statement. Who makes these designs? Question marks. Question mark. So these designs are made by who? Okay, are made by who? So, are the designs made by who? Does it sound good? Who are the, I mean you have to bring the helping verb and the WH word in the beginning to make it interrogative. I think I have already taught these things while teaching sentence. So, what was I saying? Who makes these designs? These designs are made by who? Who are these designs made by? Who will come forward? The verb is, are designs plural. So are, who are these designs made by? What is, why we are using are? Because we have a plural subject here. Okay, and in case of interrogative, in order to make a statement interrogative, we need to bring forward the WH word and the helping verb as well. After that, don't put a full stop, put an interrogative mark. Okay, so in order to change the voice of an interrogative sentence, the formula is same. I think we learned this formula while finding out subject and predicate also, if I am not wrong. Okay, so the same thing. Here you just think it as a statement. Okay, don't change the words here. Don't just, while thinking it as a statement, you just don't answer it. You just form the sentence, you just change the format into a statement sentence. Okay, keep the words intact and after that do the necessary changes. Like in order to make it interrogative, you need to bring the verb and the WH word in the beginning. That's it. And after that you need to put an interrogative mark. That is really important. Don't put full stop, you will get a big zero. Okay, now okay, these answers I am going to tell. If you want to solve them at first and then you want to hear me, then skip the video for 1 minute. English, okay, let me read the instruction. Fill in the blanks with the passive form of the verbs in the simple present tense. Simple present tense. English is spoken all over the world. All credit cards are accepted here. All children are sent. Excellent after sales service is provided here. I am often disturbed by ... What time are the shops closed? Why are? Because we are using verb for the shops. The shops is in plural form. That is why plural verb. What are you worried at? Who are the checked by? Who are the accounts checked by? The accounts is in plural form, so who are the accounts checked by? Okay, next I am going to answer one or two questions here. Change the sentences from active to passive voice. We expect good news. Good news is expected by us, or good news is expected. You can mention by us, no problem. So I hope you remember, news is always used as a singular noun. That is why good news is expected. A gardener trims these plants regularly. So these plants, which one is the object? These plants. These plants. Okay, in order to change the voice, you need to, as I mentioned just in the beginning of the video, you need to find out the subject and the object at first. So learn that rule if you have forgotten. These plants are trimmed by a gardener regularly. Now I will skip to the interrogative sentences. Do you need a new dress? Is a new dress needed by you, or by you can omit. Why does he waste money? Why is money wasted by him? Okay, now simple past. Everything will remain same. I am not going to write any more. I hope you can understand. If you face any problem, feel free to ask me as always. I always say this. Now, don't say that we don't get chance or anything, because I always ask you to raise your hands during the live class. Even if if you don't get time or something like that, you just can send me mails or anything of that sort. So in case of simple past, what happens? Subject plus the past form of the verb plus object. Now how to change? Obviously the active object will become the passive subject. This is a general rule in every tense. And after that, in case of simple past also, you need to invite a helping verb. What are the helping verbs used in simple past tense? Was and were. So if the passive subject is in singular number, use was. If it is in plural number, invite were. Suppose I loved chocolates. Chocolates were loved by me. Okay, so this is the thing. And the interrogative rule that I have already told you. Let me take an example. Who won the match? In page number 94, the last question in the worksheet. Who won the match? Question mark. How to make it passive? The match was won by whom? You just think it in that way. The match was won by whom? Whom was the match owned by? Whom was the match owned by? Question mark. Okay. The exercise 3, a revised date sheet was announced. The board results were declared. Radium was discovered. Now I will skip to question number 7 and 8. When was color television introduced in India? Who was the procession led by? Who was the procession led by? Okay, these are the answers. Now we will talk about simple future. You just wait a second. Yeah, now we will talk about simple future. The rules are same. Here the active voice structure is subject plus the future form of the verb, but the easy thing here is you have already got a helping verb in active voice, like I shall eat rice. I shall eat rice. So here the main verb is eat and the helping verb is shall. Only in simple present tense and simple past tense you will not get any helping verb present in the active voice. That's why we invite them. But in all other tenses, in active voice only the helping verbs are present. So we don't need to invite anything. I shall eat rice. Rice will be eaten by me. Just because after I in active voice there was shall, don't think that it will remain intact. In passive voice, what is the subject now? Rice is the subject. After rice, can we use shall? No. That is why it will be rice will be eaten by me. So in future tense, the structure is, as you can see, the structures you please underline them. Shall be or will be plus past participle form of the verb, that is so common in every tense. In voice change of every tense, past participle form of the verb. So before that we will place shall be or will be in passive voice. And the interrogative rule is same. I hope you learned the rule properly, the process properly while I was explaining. In case of simple present tense, the rule remains same. Just look at the sixth question of exercise 6. Who will do it? Who will do it? It will be done by who? Suppose this is the statement. It will be done by who? Whom? Sorry, not who, whom. Whom will it be done? Who will it be? What am I saying? Who will do it? It will be done by who? Okay, it will be done by who? So, who will it be done by? Who will it be done by? I told you, not whom. Okay, don't change any words. As I have already told, don't change any words. Keep the words intact. Okay. Next, the sentences. Present continuous tense. You just go through the worksheet, solve the worksheets. If you face any problem, do let me know in the live class and I will discuss the answers in the live class. So it is very important for you to be present in the live class as the worksheet portion is huge. You know, it is impossible to provide all the answer and it is not good also. You need to solve on your own. Now the continuous tenses. In present continuous tense, what is the structure that we get? Subject plus am or is or are plus the main verb plus ing plus object. Right. Suppose with examples I would tell, I am eating rice. I am eating rice or he is eating rice. Rice is being eaten by me or by him. So what will be the structure in passive voice? After the passive subject, you will have to follow the subject, whether you have to use which verb you need to use after that passive subject, that you need to be very careful about. So rice, third person singular number. After rice you will use is, obviously, not am, not are. So rice is being, B-E-I-N-G. This will be invited in case of continuous tenses. Being, after that past participle form of the verb. This is very easy by me. And learn the process of interrogative sentences. I am giving you an example. How are you arranging the money? Okay. How are you arranging the money? How is the money being arranged by you? How is the money being arranged by you? This will be the answer. Okay. Once you start practicing, there will be no need to think the sentence in statement form. Trust me. Through practicing, gradually through practicing, you will be so much expert that you will be able to directly transform the interrogative sentence, active voice interrogative sentence into passive voice interrogative sentence. Okay. Now past continuous tense, the same thing. Subject in active voice, subject plus was or were plus verb plus ing plus object. I was eating rice. Rice will come forward. Rice was being eaten by me. Same thing, B-E-I-N-G. It is common in every continuous tense voice change. Past participle form of the verb, after that it is common in every passive voice, continuous passive voice. You just need to be careful about the helping verb. You just look properly, you just observe properly after which subject you are using the verb and use the verb accordingly. You cannot say rice were eaten by me. Okay. Suppose I am giving you a sentence, you were eating rice. Don't think that just because in active voice the word where was used, the verb where was used, in passive voice also it will remain intact. No. Because in active voice the subject was you, that is why you used where. But in passive voice the subject is rice. After rice you will use was. Okay? Wait a second. Sorry for the interruption. What was I saying? Past continuous tense. Yes. So you need to use the verb in passive voice accordingly. You just need to follow the subject, the number of the subject. Okay, number and person obviously of the subject. All the children were being examined medically. Their height and weight was noted down in a register. Their eyes were also tested. Special attention was paid to their teeth. ... Okay. I will skip to the interrogative sentences. What were the authorities doing? What were the authorities doing? What was being done by the authorities? What was being done? What is considered to be singular, that is why was. What were being done by the authorities? This is not wrong, but what was being done by the authorities, this will be perfect, I guess. Okay, why were they blocking the road? Why was the road being blocked by them? Why was the road? The road is singular. Why was the road being blocked by them? I am transforming from interrogative to interrogative because I have already explained the process. So if you are facing problems to directly go from interrogative to interrogative, you just follow the rule, follow the process that I have already explained once or twice. Okay, and then check whether your answer get matched with mine or not. I may speak wrong because I am just teaching thoroughly and everything continuously, so sometimes we become confused, and by confusion we are mistaken because of confusion. So do let me know if there is any confusion. Now present perfect, future continuous. Verbs in future continuous tense cannot be expressed in passive voice. Let me tell you why. I shall be eating rice. Rice shall be being eaten. How does it sound? There is already a be. After that again you will use being because that is mandatory in voice change continuous tense. Continuous tense voice change, being is mandatory. So rice will be being eaten. It sounds really awkward, very cringe. So the grammatician, the grammar experts, they have realized that, and they have decided no, future continuous tenses, those verbs will not get any passive voice. Good for you, good for us, not only for you. Now perfect tenses. What are the structures of perfect tenses? Subject plus have or has plus past participle form of the verb plus object. Like she has done her duty. She has done her duties, suppose. Okay, for a long time I have not written anything, so I am feeling like writing something. Again I am telling the students who are feeling like why ma'am is teaching for such a long time. You just pause here. Keep the rest of the video for the next day. She has done her duties. So what is the object here? Her duties. Her duties. What will you do in passive voice of simple present, passive voice of present tense, present perfect tense? I'm getting confused now. Present perfect tense. We will obviously the active voice object will be passive subject here. After that we will do, as you can see in your book also, has or have been. Has been or have been. B-E-I-N-G, no, that is in continuous tense. This is been, B-E-E-N. So what will we use? Have been or has been? In active voice it was has because third person singular number, but here third person plural number. So no has been, it will be have been. Her duties have been. The good thing here is in perfect tenses, you already can see the past participle form of the verb from the question. Right? You don't need to know. Okay, only in case of perfect tenses, in active voice already the past participle form of the verb has been mentioned. So done by her. So about this now, be very careful. The verb that you are using in passive voice, that must be followed by the number and person of the subject, the passive subject. And the same thing about interrogative tense, interrogative sentences, I am not repeating. So this is about present perfect tense. Now past perfect tense is easier. Why? There is no has and have, only had. She had done her duties. She had done her duties. So the her duties had been done by her. Only had will be placed. The same had, B-E-E-N, will be invited, and the past participle form of the verb. Only in place of have or has we will place had, because we are talking about past perfect tense. And now future perfect tense. The active voice structure of future perfect tense: I shall have done my duty. Right, this is the structure. Now what will happen in passive voice? See, the structure will be shall or will have been plus past participle form of the verb. So this been, B-E-E-N plus past participle form of the verb, this is common in all perfect tenses, and that B-E-I-N-G plus past participle form of the verb, that is common in all continuous tenses. So I shall have done my duties will be in passive voice, my duties will have been done by me. Okay? So that's all. There is nothing else, nothing exceptional in this chapter, luckily. You just go through the chapter, watch the video, try to understand things. All the rules have not been explained again and again in case of every tense, like the process of interrogative tense. In interrogative sentence I have explained while explaining simple present tense voice change. So learn that rule from there and try to apply that in every tense, because the rule remains same. Bringing the verb, the WH word in the beginning. Just before that, just try to think the interrogative sentence into assertive form, not assertive, as a statement form, but don't change any word. Okay, while thinking it as a statement, don't change any word. These are the things, and most importantly, solve the worksheet and be present in the live class if you want to know the answers. All the answers will not be provided in the study material. It's not possible and it's not good. There are almost, more than 60 to 70 questions. More than 60 or 70 questions. I am not going to provide all the ready-made answers. Okay? So bye-bye for today. Maybe I will upload another video before your next scheduled class. Maybe, I'm not sure. So watch that video and jot down all your queries. No problem. I'm just trying to complete the syllabus. You watch the videos for that purpose. You don't need me. And after that you can ask me about your queries in the live classes. That is always open for you. Okay? And do submit the worksheet positively. You are going to get revision worksheets from now onwards. Okay? Bye bye for now.